Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. The Great Indian Election Campaign reaches its last lap. 57 seats, including Varanasi, the seat of India's Prime Minister Modi, go to the polls on June 1. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif acknowledges that Pakistan violated the Lahore Declaration. The violation led to the Kargil misadventure. India celebrates 25 years of Kargil victory this year. Temperature in Mungeshpur in Delhi crosses 52 degrees Celsius, breaking all previous records. Light rains bring respite from the unbearable heat. Major Radhika Sen wins the 2023 United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres congratulates Major Sen and thanks her for her service. Let's get you the latest on the world's largest election in India. As the final phase of the Lok Sabha elections in India draws near, anticipation fills the air with 57 constituencies spread across the states and union territories poised for voting. The nation braces for a pivotal moment in its democratic journey. Campaign efforts have peaked with just one day remaining as political parties make their last push to sway voters. It's a crucial juncture in the Indian electoral process where every vote holds the power to shape the future of the nation. Saeed Abzarul Hassan brings us this report.
Campaigning for the final phase of Lok Sabha elections has reached to its peak with just 3 days left for polling. 57 constituencies across 8 states and union territory will vote in the last phase. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister held a public rally in West Bengal. Prime Minister said that TMC is openly violating the ideals of Indian Constitution.
आज बंगाल के युवाओं को मिलने वाले अवसर ये घुसपैठिए छीन रहे हैं। आपकी जमीन जायदाद पर वो लोग कब्जा कर रहे हैं। पूरा देश चिंतित है। बंगाल के सीमावर्ती इलाकों में डेमोग्राफी बदली गई है।
Prime Minister also held a rally in the state of Odisha. Prime Minister said that the BJD left no chance to loot mineral wealth, but BJP created District Mineral Foundation to stop this. Senior BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah held rally in Uttar Pradesh's Maharajganj, Deoria and Balia. Slamming the opposition, he said that Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav will hold a press conference on June 4th and say that they lost the elections due to faulty EVMs. BJP National President JP Nadda held a roadshow at Goda in Devgar, Jharkhand. Top leaders of the opposition parties are also making a last-ditch attempt to woo voters in their favour. Congress Party National President Mallikarjun Kharge held rallies in the eastern Indian state of Odisha. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi is on a campaign trail in the northern Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. She held a rally in Kullu.
अब हम चाहते हैं कि अगर केंद्र में हमारी सरकार आए तो हम इसको और भी मजबूत बनाएं, क्योंकि हमारी पूरी विचारधारा ये है कि जो छोटे और मध्यम वर्ग के जो कारोबार है, जो इंडस्ट्री है, उसको हम मजबूत बनाएं, क्योंकि हमारी समझ ये है कि सबसे ज्यादा रोजगार इसी इंडस्ट्री से मिलती है जो छोटी और मध्यम होती है.
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee attended a public meeting in 24 South Pargana. Fate of 904 candidates will be decided in this phase. 13 seats each in Uttar Pradesh and Punjab, 9 in West Bengal, 8 in Bihar, 6 in Odisha, 4 in Himachal Pradesh, 3 in Jharkhand and 1 seat in the Union Territory of Chandigarh will go to polls in the 7th and last phase. Syed Absarul Hassan's report for DD India.
Now, as India goes to the polls for the final phase, Punjab braces itself for the general elections on the 1st of June. With political fervour reaching its peak, voters are eagerly awaiting their turn to cast their ballots in what promises to be a pivotal moment for the state. Let's look at this report from Amritpal Singh.
As Punjab heads for polls, it's embroiled in a four-cornered electoral battle on almost all of the 13 Lok Sabha seats in the border state. Aam Aadmi Party, the ruling party in Punjab, and the Congress, who are India bloc partners, are fighting against each other in the state. The Shiromani Akali Dal and the Bharatiya Janata Party, who were alliance partners till 2020, when the Akali Dal broke away from the NDA coalition, are contesting this election on all seats separately. The Bahujan Samaj Party is also for the first time contesting alone on all seats in the state.
There are 4-corner or 5-corner contests on almost on all the 13 seats. We can easily say that 9 of the 13 seats are facing 4-corner contests, and another 4-5 seats, even if we include Chandigarh, they are facing a 5-corner contest.
While for political parties it's about seats and vote shares, for the voters what matters most is what the political class does to improve their everyday life.
For me as a woman voter, what matters the most is safe and secure environment for me and my daughter and every other woman and girl child around.
You know what farm distress is all about. We want a government that resolves the issues of the farmers.
Analysts point, what matters most to people are issues related to drugs, farm distress, employment and development. The political slugfest, therefore, is wrapped around this.
For the Congress, the challenge is to maintain its stellar performance of 2019, where it got 8 out of the 13 seats in Punjab. For the Aam Aadmi Party, which is the incumbent government in the state of Punjab, the idea is to improve its tally of 1 from the last time around. For the Akali Dal, it is a fight for relevance in state politics of Punjab, and the BJP would want to get at least 1 seat in its kitty, if not Gurdaspur or Hoshiarpur, at least Jalandhar. With cameraman Manmohan Singh, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Sahibzada Ajit Singh Nagar, Punjab.
Gorakhpur is one of the crucial seats in Uttar Pradesh that will poll on June 1. Both the contestants are Bhojpuri celebrities, and now they are aggressively campaigning to woo the voters. Deepika Mehto sent us this report from Gorakhpur.
Team DD India has now reached Gorakhpur, and right now we are standing at the very famous tourist spot, which is Nauka Vihar of Gorakhpur. Well, what else is making more attractive on Gorakhpur is the political battle. The political battle is directly between 2 celebrities here. One is Ravi Kishan, who's contesting from BJP, and the other is Kajal Nishad, who's contesting from the side of Samajwadi Party. So in the next report, we're going to tell you how this political hot seat is trying to woo the voters across Gorakhpur.
The city of Gorakhpur is all set to go to the polls on 1st of June in the 7th and last phase of India's Lok Sabha election 2024. This particular seat is not only a hot seat from the contestants' point of view, but the seat is a matter of prestige for UP's current Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. The seat is witnessing a battle between BJP's Ravi Kishan, who is a celebrated Bhojpuri actor and singer, along with Samajwadi Party's Kajal Nishad, who is contesting on the basis of Nishad community's vote bank.
बीजेपी के गोरखपुर से प्रत्याशी रवि किशन जी ने कोई इंट्रोडक्शन की जरूरत नहीं है। थोड़ी देर पहले इनकी 47 डिग्री में रैली थी, जिसमें हजारों की तादाद में जनसंख्या मौजूद थी। सर, जब हम बात करें गोरखपुर की लड़ाई की, तो सामने आपके काजल निषाद है। कितना बड़ा चैलेंज है या कोई चैलेंज नहीं?
चैलेंज देखिए उनसे होता है जो कुछ काम किए होते। जीवन में याद रखना, आपसे बढ़िया कोई एंकर होगी तो अब आपके लिए चैलेंज होगा। जो लोग काम ही नहीं किए, जिनको 5 साल में आप एक बार देखें, उन लोग से क्या चैलेंज है?
On the other hand, SP's Kajal Nishad is trying to secure the vote bank of Nishad community of Gorakhpur.
चैलेंज है ही नहीं है, क्योंकि वे बाहरी है, जौनपुर के हैं। मैं घर की हूँ, लोकल हूँ, भहुआ पार की हूँ, गोरखपुर ग्रामीण की रहने वाली हूँ।
The people of Gorakhpur are demanding a better economic situation that means no inflation, while others say that they have witnessed a lot of positive changes in Gorakhpur.
Everything has become very expensive. Inflation should be controlled.
10 साल हो गए।
Gorakhpur has changed. Many positive changes have happened here.
The polling in Gorakhpur will take place on the 1st of June, and both the candidates are putting their best foot forward to woo the voters ahead of the silent period.
So there you heard the version of both political parties and how they are trying to woo the voters ahead of the polling, which is all set to take place in Gorakhpur on the 1st of June. So don't forget to vote on the 1st of June and vote for your favorite party. Cast your vote for your political right. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Gorakhpur.
Well, amid the cacophony, let's take you on a journey through time as we delve into a story of a city's beloved icon, the Calcutta tram. Now, once the pride of the streets, this historic mode of transportation is now facing neglect and decline. Debyendu Mandal gets us this exclusive ground report from Kolkata. Take a look.
This is the city of joy. This is Kolkata. What you're witnessing behind me is centuries old history of the colonial periods. Let me take you inside the history of the Calcutta trams.
This is a living history, the Calcutta tramways. Since its inception in 1873 during the British colonial era, the Calcutta tram has been an integral part of the city's landscape, connecting neighborhoods and ferrying generations of Kolkatans through its iconic carriages. Crawling through the crowded streets of Kolkata, the Calcutta tram is a story of neglect. It seems it has frozen in time. The wooden seats, the wooden flooring and the huge fans showcases the dilapidated conditions of the tram. It highlights the neglect it faced over years.
এখন অবস্থা খুবই খারাপ। এই সরকার আসার পর থেকে পুরো ট্রাম কোম্পানিটা বসিয়ে দিয়েছে একদম। সব ট্রাম যতগুলো ডিপো ছিল সব করে শেষ হয়ে গেছে একদম। সব বিক্রি করে দিয়েছে। যাই কেউ যাই হোক করেছে করে যাই না এখন ট্রাম 5টা 6টা ট্রাম ডিপো ছিল। সব ডিপো বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে।
Lack of maintenance, aging infrastructure and changing commuter preferences have led to a decline in the tram's popularity and efficiency. But this still continues to be the cheapest mode of transport in Kolkata.
খুবই কম চড়ি অপশন পেলে মাঝে সাঝে খুব রেয়ার ওটি ট্রেনে এই ট্রামে আর এটা ম্যাক্সিমাম রুটই তো বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে পসিবলি 2টো না 3টে রুট আর চলছে এটা আমাদের ঐতিহ্য কলকাতার আর কি সেটাই মেইনটেইন করছে এখনো
The neglect of the tram system has not only impacted its functionality but also its cultural significance. Now, as Kolkata marches towards the future, the fate of its beloved tram hangs in the balance. Will it continue to be a relic of the past, or will efforts be made to revive and preserve this cherished piece of the city's history? Only time will tell.
And the people of Kolkata really wants this heritage tram to be preserved and calls for a renovation of this heritage of the colonial era to be preserved and presented to the people for a better transport facility of the city. With camera person PK, this is Debyendu Mandal from Kolkata in West Bengal for DD India.
What's still to come here on DD India News Hour? We'll touch base with our correspondents on the penultimate day of campaigning. S&P Global Ratings upgrades India's outlook from stable to positive. Delhi sees unthinkable temperatures, 52.3 degrees Celsius.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. a world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Well, Team Pol Pulse has reached Varanasi, the city of temples and knowledge in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. Now, as the city goes to the polls in the 7th phase, Sakal Bhatt tracks the pulse of the people. Let's take a look.
Is here in the heart and the banks of mighty river Ganga, tracking the pulse of the pole-bound Banaras. Varanasi or Kashi, one of the oldest living cities in the world. Varanasi is one of the most prestigious seats that is going to be polls on 1st of June. This is one constituency that has seen a massive transformation from the symbol of faith to massive development. Think of Banaras or Kashi or Varanasi, the first thing or the foremost thing that would come to your mind are the famous, beautiful, picturesque ghats of Banaras. Banaras ke ghat वाराणसी की शान है।
अब घाट क्या था, क्या से क्या बन गया, नमो घाट नहीं था, नमो घाट नया बन गया।
काफी बदलाव आया है, 2014 के बाद काफी बदलाव आया है। जो 2014 के पहले नहीं था, वो अब 2014 के काफी लोग सुधार आ गया है, यहाँ पे भी पूरे भारत में आ गया है सुधार।
Political heat is hotting up in Varanasi and so are the temperatures. Team Pulse reporting from Kashi Vishwanath corridor, which has not only garnered tremendous national attention, especially when it comes to spiritual tourism, when it comes to pilgrimage, but also international tourists as well.
2 साल में काफ़ी चेंज हुआ, 3 साल में काफ़ी चेंज हुआ है, बहुत अच्छा हो गया। आने वाले टाइम में अब उससे भी अच्छा हो जाएगा।
चुनाव में वोट करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। मैं वाराणसी की जनता से ये कहना चाहूँगी कि हर कोई व्यक्ति घर से निकल करके वोट करे।
बहुत से बदलाव हुई हैं, पब्लिक के लिए सुविधा हुआ है, सड़क बनी है, हर कार्य अंदर कॉरिडोर बनी है, अब उतना भीड़ नहीं लगता है, अंदर बहुत सुविधा हुआ है। बहुत प्रभाव पड़ा है, पहले से बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा है, सब कुछ सही है।
People here are openly talking about the big change on ground, especially when it comes to the development. With camera person Murli, this is Sakal Bhatt reporting from
Varanasi. And let's talk to our correspondents. Deepika Mehto is in Varanasi and Dibyendu Mondal is in Kolkata. And we're going to get them on the screen in a little while. These are visuals that we are getting you from Varanasi, one of the oldest living cities in the world, continuously inhabited cities in the world for centuries. In fact, I'm told that we are joined by Dibyendu Mondal, who's joining us from Kolkata. Dibyendu, give us a brief understanding of the seats in the last phase in West Bengal and, how close the contest is likely to be.
Well, Mark, before I answer that question, I would like to slightly divert from that and show you that we just witnessed a fantastic drone show here in Kolkata, Shahid Minar, organized by the BJP. We have seen through this drone show what the BJP tried to showcase was perhaps the schemes of the Prime Minister of India, of the central government and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the schemes that has been launched by the government. For example, the Awas Yojana,
was primarily showcased here through this drone show. It was also showcasing the Vande Bharat train, the icons of Bengal's freedom struggle as well as literature was showcased through the drone show that has been organized in the capital of Kolkata. But coming to your question, Mark, of course, 9 crucial seats are going to polls in this particular phase of elections, including the 2 metropolitan seat of Kolkata, which is the Kolkata North and the Kolkata South seat. Also the suburban seat of Jadavpur, where the Prime Minister campaigned yesterday, is also going to polls in this particular phase. But interestingly, Mark, the BJP is trying to make a severe dent into the Trinamool Congress's vote share this time around in these particular 9 seats. And why? Because none of these 9 seats are with the BJP and all of them are with the Trinamool Congress. The BJP is hoping to bag at least 2 of these 9 seats, which is why Prime Minister was in West Bengal for 1.5 days till today morning since yesterday afternoon. So you can understand the importance that the BJP is giving to these 9 seats. Today, just a while back, also JP Nadda, the national president of the BJP, was campaigning in the capital of Kolkata. So therefore, the BJP is giving all its might into these 9 seats, which is going to polls in the last phase. The crucial, of course, one of the crucial seats is the Diamond Harbour seat, where the Trinamool Congress's Abhishek Banerjee, the second in command, is contesting from that seat. The BJP is trying to make a dent into that bastion of the Trinamool Congress in Diamond Harbour. Also, the North Kolkata seat, the BJP hopes they will be able to crack it this time around with giving the ticket this time to TMC's former TMC minister, in fact, Taposh Roy, who had joined the BJP just days ahead of the elections in Bengal. So, of course, it's a tough fight. It will be keenly watched by all political analysts and experts in Kolkata and across the country as to how, if at all, will the BJP be able to make a dent into these 9 seats, which are considered as the very, very stronghold of the Trinamool Congress. Back to you, Mark.
Right. Thanks, Dibyendu. Let's go across to Deepika Mehto. She's in Varanasi. Deepika, Varanasi, as we saw in the report sent by Sakal, is among the oldest living cities in the world. So how does, the election fit into its ancient history?
Good evening, Mark. You said it very right, and right now I'm standing at a position where you can see all the narrow lanes behind me. So this is what depicts and suggests that how old, if you talk about Varanasi, is. Just take a look at the lanes around me, and you will get to know that how narrow lanes are there. That makes it look really old and talks about its rich cultural heritage louder. Now coming back to the question, and ahead of the polling which is scheduled to take place on the 1st of June, this is a very tough contest for Congress here, because they are up against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is looking forward for his hat-trick over here. In 2014, he won for the first time. Then he won in 2019. And now in 2024, he is again vouching from this Varanasi seat. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has time and again said that he not only treats Varanasi as a constituency, but as the birthplace he says that Ma Ganga has called him here for being here and serve the people, the localites of Varanasi here. So this is what makes it even more interesting, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is having a very strong hold over here in Varanasi, whereas on the other hand, Ajay Rai is also no less. He's trying his best foot forward. Continuous campaigning is also going on round the clock, because very soon we would have the silent period in activation mode. But before that, the campaigning is going round the clock, and both the parties are trying to enter every nook and corner of this Varanasi and visit all the ghats, visit all the constituencies, visit all the nooks and corners to meet the people and tell the people that despite the hot weather conditions, do come out and vote on the 1st of June in the last phase of election.
Okay, thanks very much, Deepika Mehto. Thank you for bringing us that update from Varanasi. The S&P Global Ratings has maintained India's sovereign rating at BBB minus, while upgrading its outlook from stable to positive, citing the nation's strong economic growth as well as improved credit metrics. The agency anticipates ongoing economic reforms and fiscal policies, projecting a decrease in fiscal deficit and a moderate reduction in debt to GDP ratio by fiscal 2028. S&P may raise India's ratings further if fiscal deficits narrow significantly or if there's sustained improvement in monetary policy effectiveness, while a decline in political commitment to fiscal sustainability could prompt a revision to a stable outlook. Israel's national security advisor says that fighting in Gaza will go on for 7 more months at least as military operations intensify on the ground. The United States has said on Tuesday that it did not consider Israel's attacks on Rafah a major ground operation that crossed any red lines. U.S. President Joe Biden said that he has no plans to change his Israel policy, but is not turning a blind eye to the plight of civilians in Gaza. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Moldova's capital, Chisinau, where he has met with the President Sandu, and this is the first stop of a brief European tour where the top U.S. diplomat will aim to solidify Western support for Ukraine across NATO allies as well as neighboring countries. The Indian Chamber of Commerce organized the India-UAE Business Forum in Dubai under the theme of fostering entrepreneurship and global business relationships. The forum focused on enhancing economic ties between India and the UAE. The event highlighted India's legal reforms as well as their impact on attracting foreign investments. India's Attorney General R. Venkataramani emphasized the critical role of robust legal frameworks in facilitating global capital movement. In his keynote speech, Venkataramani underscored the importance of strong legal frameworks for smooth capital movement. The event was also attended by India's Solicitor General Tushar Mehta and the Consul General of India in Dubai, Satish Kumar Sivan.
For me personally, it's been a great time to build India-UAE legal platforms and legal exchanges networks. I think it's important for India to build more and more such legal exchanges and legal platform networks. And the importance of such networks is not merely to build bridges in trade and commerce, but more importantly, a social, cultural, and friendship relationship between India and UAE.
Indian companies have also made large investments in UAE, totaling more than $85 billion across a variety of industries. On the other hand, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, ADIA, the principal sovereign wealth fund of the UAE, has committed to invest $75 in India's infrastructure sector.
Forums like these play a pivotal role in enhancing bilateral trade and investment relations, helping in advancing a holistic approach and fostering new avenues in economic cooperation between our two countries. By providing a platform for dialogue, networking and collaboration, these interactions pave the way for exploring fruitful business partnerships and investment opportunities. Over the years, consistently supported entrepreneurs with economic policies, access to capital, mentorship, infrastructure, and most importantly, a supportive regulatory environment.
Temperatures in India's capital surged to a record-breaking 52.9 degrees Celsius on Wednesday. This unimaginable heat was recorded in a Delhi suburb of Mungeshpur. It's also the first time that the temperature has breached the 50 degrees centigrade threshold in Delhi. Elsewhere, too, temperatures are at record highs. Mihir Makori takes us through some of the readings and also reads us through the impacts of this heat wave.
Scorching heat is sizzling some parts of the world, with temperatures breaking all previous records. These occurrences coincide with our home planet experiencing its warmest period on record over the past 12 months. In India, multiple cities have recorded their highest maximum temperatures of the season. On Wednesday, temperatures in Delhi's Narela and Najafgarh weather offices reported extreme temperatures. The scenes at other key Indian cities were no different either. Varanasi sizzled at 46 degrees Celsius, Ludhiana at 45.4 degrees Celsius, Jaisalmer at 45 degrees Celsius, Jaipur at 45 degrees Celsius, Churu at 47.4 degrees Celsius, Sri Ganganagar at 46 degrees Celsius, Chandigarh at 46 degrees Celsius, Hisar at 47.6 degrees Celsius. The warm weather has had its negative impact on citizens in many parts of the country, including in Sheikhpura in the eastern Indian state of Bihar. But what is a heat wave? As per India's Met Office, a heat wave occurs when the temperature is 4.5 degrees C above the long-term average. Between 1961 and 2021, heat waves increased in India by about 2.5 days due to global warming. Now let's take a look at the impacts of heat wave. Climate change is causing heat waves to become longer, more frequent and more intense. Blistering temperatures threaten to break previous records. Rising temperatures are driven by increasing carbon dioxide emissions, greenhouse gases and a growing El Nino event. New data from Copernicus Climate Change Service indicates April 2024 as the hottest April on record. April 2024 was 1.58 degrees Celsius warmer than the average temperatures in April compared to the pre-industrial period. Pakistan temperatures across 52 degrees Celsius in heat wave. In 2024, Africa experienced the second warmest February. South Sudan reported temperature of 41 degrees C on March 19, 2024. In Kenya, Garissa with 27.9 degrees C experienced the hottest night on record. Since March 17, 2024, Rio in Brazil has experienced its highest heat wave in a decade. On March 18, 2024, Rio sizzled with maximum temperatures of 42 degrees Celsius. To get rid of this situation, everyone can help limit climate change. From the way we travel to the electricity we use and the food we eat, we can make a difference. Mihir Maikuri's report for DD India.
Meanwhile, two hours after Delhi recorded the country's highest ever temperature at 52.9 degrees Celsius, the national capital received light showers, bringing some respite from the extreme heat. Drizzles were also witnessed in neighboring Noida. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Nawaz Sharif has an epiphany, admits Pakistan violated Lahore Declaration. DRDO achieves another milestone. The Rudram 2 air-to-surface missile is flight tested from a Su-30 MKI. And the Indian flight operator Indigo introduces new safety feature for female passengers.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. India has assumed the chair of the Colombo process for 2024-2026 for the first time since its inception. The Colombo process is a regional consultative process of migrant worker origin countries from South and Southeast Asia. India looks to promote safe, orderly and legal migration. It serves as a forum for exchange of the best practices on overseas employment. The former Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on May 28 confessed that Islamabad breached the 1999 Lahore Declaration with India. This came at an event that coincided with the 26th anniversary of Pakistan's nuclear test. The violation led to the Kargil conflict. And this year, in fact, India is celebrating 25 years of victory in that Kargil war. Let's take a look at this report. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has acknowledged that Pakistan violated a peace agreement signed with India in 1999. During a meeting of the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz PMLN General Council, Sharif admitted that Islamabad had breached the Lahore Declaration, which was aimed at peace with India. This violation ultimately led to the Kargil misadventure. The Lahore Declaration was signed between Nawaz Sharif and the former Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee in February of 1999. It represented a major breakthrough towards peace between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The agreement provided a framework for peace and stability with a commitment to resolve all issues, including the Kashmir issue, through peaceful means. However, this accord was undermined when Pakistani terrorists intruded into the Kargil district of Jammu and Kashmir, leading to the 1999 Kargil War. Nawaz Sharif was subsequently deposed as the Prime Minister of Pakistan after the war ended with India's victory. Nawaz Sharif's admission shed light on the historical complexities of India-Pakistan relations and the delicate balance between peace efforts and military actions. Senior Congress leader Mani Shankar Raya recently made a controversial reference to Pakistan's nuclear status, something that the ruling BJP has unequivocally denounced.
The signals clearly show the anti-India mindset of the Congress party. And similar signals were also sent to Pakistan when Mani Shankar Iyer just a few days back had said that even Pakistan is in possession of an atomic bomb. Therefore, India should be careful.
Had Pakistan not violated the Lahore Declaration, there may have been more development in Gilgit-Baltistan. But that's not the case. Scores of locals and activists in Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan recently blocked the Karakoram highway to express anger over the death of two people after a wooden suspension bridge collapsed in Khanabad village. They raised concern over infrastructural underdevelopment in the region as the cause of their miseries. Bureau Report, DD India. And we are privileged to have with us Ajay Bisaria, who's the former Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. Why do you think Nawaz Sharif made this admission of guilt?
Well, thank you for having me. Nawaz Sharif has been making statements of this nature for a while. This is not the first time he said something, but this is the time he has been quite clear about what he's saying. In fact, when Nawaz Sharif returned from self-imposed exile in October 2023 from London, he said something similar at a Lahore rally. He said that he had been responsible for the nuclear tests in '98, and then he had invited Prime Minister Vajpayee, and that process could not go forward. So I think what Nawaz Sharif is saying is sending two signals. He's sending one signal, a gentle one internally, to his army bosses, because he's part of a hybrid government where the senior partner is the army. And that signal is that you got rid of me in 1999 with the military coup of Musharraf. You got rid of me in 2017 with this judicial military coup, what it was called, when his elected government was removed. And he wanted to make this point perhaps to the army. And he also wanted to make a point to India. And I think the signal to India is that his government would be willing, with the new government in India, to take some steps towards trying to normalize this relationship.
Ambassador Bisaria, then how should India proceed? After all, Pakistan is struggling economically, and perhaps, there is a need to hopefully try and boost their trade relations, if that is ever possible, with India going forward.
Well, sending such a signal to India a week before India's election results come in is not the best timing. You know, the bandwidth in India to even deal with such a signal is limited. But the point is that the ball is really in Pakistan's court. It is up to Pakistan to not send the signal through the media, but send it through quiet channels and through perhaps back channels to India and state clearly what Pakistan intends to do. You know, it's all very well to say that the fault lay in what Pakistan did. Kargil, incidentally, is something which even the army of Pakistan admits was a huge misadventure by Musharraf and his coterie. So it's one thing to admit that it was a mistake, but another to give very firm assurances to India about terrorism and to clearly say, in this case, whether the army is also on board along with the civilians to make any kind of gesture towards India.
Ambassador Basaria, can the Lahore Declaration and what its contents be, you know, a point to which one can go back to and say that that's an area that we can look at to try and bridge the trust deficit?
Well, certainly the Lahore Declaration is an interstate agreement which is there. It has legal force because it was an agreement signed between two governments. The political point, however, that Nawaz Sharif is making is that can we turn the clock back to 1999, you know, when right after the nuclear tests by both countries, Vajpayee and his government made a huge gesture, a peace gesture towards Pakistan by actually taking the Lahore bus and going there in February 1999. And that process was interrupted by a misguided general who went into a misadventure in Kargil. So can we turn the clock back and start over at that point without making the same mistake that Pakistan made? This seems to be the signal. But for India, this is not enough. What India would require is a clearer statement that the army is on board and exactly what kind of assurances Pakistan can give India, particularly on the number one concern that India has, that it should not see any terrorism coming in from Pakistan.
Ambassador Ajay Basaria, thank you very much for helping us understand this in its complexity. Thanks very much. Former US President Donald Trump's hush money trial reaches its final days as jurors are expected to begin deliberations on Wednesday. Before they begin deliberating, they will receive instructions from the judge on the relevant law. It could take days, in fact, even weeks for the 12 New Yorkers to reach a verdict in the first criminal trial of a former US president. Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 charges of falsifying business records to cover up a hush money payment to the adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential elections. And DD India's Mitch McCain now joins us live from New York with more. Mitch, how long is the jury likely to take to reach a verdict? You know, could it be a case of 12 angry men?
It could take some time. In fact, it could take hours, it could take days, it could take weeks. We just don't know what the jury is considering at the moment. Now, Judge Mushan, as you mentioned, gave his instructions to the jury this morning, Eastern Time here in New York, and he took around 1 hour and 10 minutes, and he really used it as a chance to explain to the jury how to apply the law in this case as it stands. He spoke about things like intent. He spoke about things like reasonable doubt. He spoke to the jury, so they have a better indication on how to deliberate and how the process will work. He really got into the minutiae, you could say, of the 34 charges that Donald Trump faces. Now, there's an interesting point to note here that Donald Trump cannot actually leave the court building while this deliberation takes place, but he did use the chance to speak to reporters as the jury went out to deliberate this morning. Now, Donald Trump called this a kangaroo court. He said the judge was both conflicted and corrupt, and he said after listening to Judge Mushan's discussion to the jury this morning, not even Mother Teresa would be able to beat these charges. So that's what Donald Trump had to say in the court this morning.
Mitch, how is a guilty verdict likely to impact Trump's race for the White House?
Well, look, that's very interesting to consider because there are a couple of different schools of thought on that issue. One school of thought is that a conviction could actually galvanise support from Donald Trump from the right. In fact, some people may see that he's convicted. They may feel that this is what he calls a witch hunt, and they will start voting and supporting him. It's also important to note that as Donald Trump has faced numerous indictments, it hasn't really hurt his poll ratings. In some polls, he's even gone up. So there is a school of thought there on one hand that he could do quite well from being convicted in this case. On the other hand, there were actual polls that have been conducted here by US media. I was looking at one this morning from ABC that found 16% of voters would reconsider whether or not they will vote for Donald Trump, and another 4% say that they will withdraw their support from Donald Trump. So the actual polls say it would be very bad for him, but anecdotal evidence suggests that it might not be bad. The real answer to that is no one knows, and we'll have to cross that bridge when it comes to it.
A final question, Mitch. He's pleaded not guilty. So, I mean, how much of this case is actually being discussed by the common citizen?
That's a really interesting question as well. I think a lot of people have been watching the start of this in New York, general New Yorkers that you'll speak to or people around the country. And then as it's been in the minutiae of the case, some people have kind of withdrawn from the absolute details. But I think there is a considerable amount of interest now, especially here in New York, with this case. There is dozens and dozens of reporters from around the world that are standing beside us as we are here this morning. So I think there is huge interest as we reach the conclusion of this. But as I say, it'll be interesting to note, we don't know when a jury is going to reach a verdict. It could be this afternoon. It could be next week. We just don't know. But there is a lot of interest in this case.
Mitch McCain in New York, thanks very much. According to defense sources, India is set to formally start the cost negotiations with the French delegation on the 30th of May for a procurement of 26 Rafale M, that's marine aircraft, that will operate from its 2 aircraft carriers. The approximate cost of the 26 naval Rafale jets is expected to be about 40,000 to 50,000 crore rupees, Indian rupees, dependent on the negotiations between the Indian side and the French side. This will include the cost of the aircraft besides missiles and maintenance of the aircraft. According to sources, the Indian side has invited the French side for the negotiation process, and the first round of talks, the French side will include Defense Ministry and industry partners, including Dassault Aviation as well as Thales. The process of granting citizenship certificates under the Citizenship Rules 2024 has commenced in the state of West Bengal, where the first set of applications from the state were granted citizenship by the Empowered Committee of West Bengal. Similarly, the Empowered Committee of the states of Haryana and Uttarakhand, they have also granted citizenship today to the first set of applicants in their respective states under the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024. The first set of citizenship certificates were handed over to the applicants in New Delhi by the Union Home Secretary on the 15th of May 2024. The Government of India has notified the Citizenship Rules 2024. They did so on the 11th of March 2024. The rules envisage the manner of application form, the procedure for processing applications by district level committee, and the scrutiny and grant of citizenship by state level empowered committee. The processing of the applications is done completely through the online portal. In pursuance of these rules, in fact, applications have been received from persons belonging to Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Buddhist, Parsi and Christian communities from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan who have entered into India up to the 31st of December 2014 on account of persecution on grounds of religion or fear of such persecution. Let's take a look at some other stories making the news in India. The DRDO have achieved a milestone as the Rudram-2 air-to-surface missile was successfully flight tested from a Su-30 MKI platform of the Indian Air Force over the coast of Odisha. The test met all trial objectives, validating the propulsion system, control and guidance algorithm. And We're going to tell you more about this significant development. The Indian flight operator Indigo has introduced a new feature exclusively for female passengers, the ability to view seats booked by fellow female travelers during a web check-in. This tailored feature is based on market research and is currently in pilot mode, aiming to enhance safety and comfort for solo and family female travelers. The International Day of UN Peacekeepers, celebrated on the 29th of May, pays tributes to the dedication and sacrifice made by peacekeepers around the world. And to mark the occasion, India's Deputy Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Rakesh Kapoor, paid homage to UN peacekeepers from India who have laid down their lives in the pursuit of international justice. This year, the United Nations also announced that an Indian military peacekeeper, Major Radhika Sen, has won the 2023 United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year award.
For 75 years, more than 2 million peacekeepers have worked to save and change lives in the world's most fragile political and security situations. The International Day of UN Peacekeepers on May 29 is an occasion to pay tribute to such uniformed and civilian personnel who help to maintain international peace and security.
Today we pay tribute to the more than 76,000 United Nations peacekeepers who embody humanity's highest ideal, peace. Hailing from over 120 countries, our Blue Helmets serve in 11 peace operations in conflict-affected areas in Africa, Asia, Europe and the Middle East.
To mark the occasion, India's Deputy Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Rakesh Kapoor, and United Nations Population Fund, India's representative, Andrea Wojnar, laid a wreath at the National War Memorial in New Delhi to pay homage to the 179 UN peacekeepers from India who have laid down their lives in the pursuit of international peace. India is one of the largest troop contributors to UN peacekeeping mission, and India's contribution has been recognized by United Nations. An Indian peacekeeper, Major Radhika Sen, has won 2023 Military Gender Advocate of the Year award.
This year, we are particularly honored to receive the UN Gender Military Advocate Award for 2024, a powerful testament to India's steadfast dedication to gender equality and the invaluable role of women in peacekeeping. We hence proudly celebrate Major Radhika Sen, whose exemplary service and leadership have earned her this distinguished award.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres congratulated Major Radhika Sen for her service. Guterres said that Major Sen is a true leader and role model. Her service was a true credit to the United Nations as a whole. In an escalating conflict environment in North Kiev, her troops actively engaged with conflict-affected communities, including women and girls. She earned their trust, doing so with humility, compassion, and dedication. India has contributed services of approximately 287,000 troops to peacekeeping missions. Presently, Indian armed forces are deployed across 9 countries in peacekeeping missions. On the occasion of International Day of UN Peacekeepers, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar wrote on social media platform, "On the International Day of UN Peacekeepers, salute the valor of the brave men and women who dedicate themselves to maintaining peace and security in regions affected by conflict. Honor especially memory of those who have made the supreme sacrifice in carrying out the cause of UN peacekeeping. UN peacekeeping is a unique global partnership. Peacekeepers help to prevent conflict, protect civilians, advance political solutions, and support democratic processes." Fuzail Ahmed's report for DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get you the sports news now. The Brazilian athlete Thiago Braz has been banned after he was found violating the anti-doping regulations. Now, he's a former Olympic pole vault champion and he's been banned for 16 months. The athlete tested positive last year for banned substances which he consumed through sports supplements. He was deemed to have breached the World Athletics anti-doping rules relating to the presence of a prohibited substance in its metabolites or markers in an athlete's sample. Braz, who won the Olympic gold in the Rio Olympics in 2016, he won the bronze in Tokyo in 2021, is going to miss this year's Olympic Games in Paris. India's Health Secretary Apurva Chandra held a bilateral meeting with the Global Fund on the sidelines of the 77th World Health Assembly of the WHO in Geneva. India's Health Secretary acknowledged and appreciated the Global Fund's continued support towards the elimination of 3 diseases in India. They are TB, HIV/AIDS and malaria. He highlighted that most of the investment in the capacity building, technical support and lab system strengthening of the program was led by them and to a better sustainability. He also called upon the Global Fund to continue to support the TB program to strengthen the capabilities of the public health systems. During the ongoing 77th World Health Assembly, India hosted a side event on digital health, which saw participation by Quad countries. They are Australia, Japan, the United States of America and India. So what's happened is that Apurva Chandra, India's Health Secretary and the head of the Indian delegation, outlined India's advancements in digital health. He highlighted the transformative role of digital health in ensuring equitable and accessible healthcare services, contributing to universal health coverage and achievement of Sustainable Development Goal 3, that is, good health and well-being. It is attended by delegates from over 100 countries, highlighting collaborative efforts in advancing digital public infrastructure globally. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. That app is available both on Android and on iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. From all of us here in Delhi, thank you very much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.